And welcome to nearly 2 years into the future. Okay, I don't think it's quite 2 years, it's probably a year and a bit, year and a half, I'm not quite sure, but yeah. I've just been editing all the footage that I got when I did the bedroom rebuild, and yeah, what a mess. I don't think I recorded enough yet. I'm also surprised with how much recording I've actually got. I've had to split it up into like 4 videos, it's unbelievable. There it is, there is the bedroom build. So in this video, I just thought, as it's a jump into the future, we can see how it's gone, how the items are faring after a year and a half, maybe more of use, nearly 2 years of use. And we'll talk about what went well, what went wrong, a lot went wrong, and whether it was worth it or not. So we'll start off with all of the negatives, I suppose. Let's get it out of the way. Starting with the big wall. For starters, there's things I'm not happy with. Again, some of it is due to money and time, like not having the time and money to get a proper box to flush that in. So this is always a bit meh. I'm not too keen on that cutout, and quite frankly, this thing just looks weird. Like I joked before, it just looks like some weird... It just looks like one of my 2012 Minecraft builds. I made that joke before, it's just weird. The cubby holes... I mean, they are great, and it is a positive having them. I feel like I could have done something better, though. They just end up being a dumping ground, really, more than anything. Because I got loads of small items to put in there, but they're two quite large cubby holes. So it kind of just ends up looking like a mess most of the time. Another thing I'm really unhappy with is the finish. It just hasn't gone very well. Where I've got the two boards up next to each other, and I've tried to fill it up with the decorator's cork. It just hasn't ended up very well. Oh, I've got to keep avoiding that bloody camera flicker as well. This is going to be awkward. I just got one of the recording lights out because I'm fed up with the flicker and the camera shimmer I'm getting from the main lights. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see unless the light casts down. But I'm not particularly happy with the finish on this, especially if you cast the light on the side. It's just a problem with using the decorator's cork. I wasn't really aware of what it was. I thought, oh, it'll expand and stop it cracking, that would be great, but it kind of feels more like a silicone based thing with it kind of can expand and contract, but you can't sand it at all, and I tried to and it just made a mess. I actually had another go at doing this multiple times with proper filler, and it just still doesn't look that good. And of course that filler's now cracking in places, as you can see. So yeah, not particularly happy with that. I mean, the plan anyway was to actually cover this with stuff, hence all the pin badges on a belt for starters to cover some of it. But yeah, this corner piece, not particularly impressed with that. Another thing is just in areas that's just bled through, like where I've painted, the filler underneath has bled through and just doesn't look that good. And obviously the cork over the screw holes, it's shrunk and just doesn't look that smooth. Moving on to the inside of the cupboard, not many faults here actually. I haven't finished it yet. I've still got to do quite a lot to it. I'm probably going to cut that pillar off because it's not doing anything. I feel like if I add another shelf in there, they'll just be too deep, like too thin yet too deep to actually get to the back of them. So if I'm going to put anything up there that needs to be in stuff, I'll just put them in plastic boxes or something, and then obviously removing that will just give me loads of access space. The only downside here currently is not knowing how to finish it. I don't know what colour to paint these. I've sort of just started to fill it, but not really actually finished it. Other than that, the storage has ended up pretty good, so I'll add that to the positives in a minute. I've got an orange light in there at the minute just to make that glow up nice. Yeah, looks pretty cool actually. Yeah, just this corner does get quite dark now, and that's without the cover on here. I've actually cut a cover to go there. Yeah, so it does get quite dark in there. I definitely need to add a light and maybe some coloured lights like that to make it look a little bit better. Downsides to the cupboard, right. First of all, there's a massive gap at the top there above the door, and it only just gets that bloody switch as well. I don't know why that's like that. But other than that, the cupboard Not much negatives to say other than this door feels a little bit but it seems to be holding up pretty good. Right, moving on to the main recording desk. This does have some drawbacks. For starters, these doors, oh man alive. Hang on, let me just get that light out because I detest the camera flicker. So for starters, these doors have been a nuisance since I put them up. When I originally put them up, I just measured a board out to fit and then cut down the middle. And originally it was all fine. I got it all on there and then I painted them. And that's when it started just going wrong. As soon as I painted them, this door warped up the top. I don't know if it was the water in the paint. It just warped this door completely out of control. And then since then, this one's done it down here. In fact, the magnet I had down there, it obviously got so warped it wouldn't catch. I've now got the magnet up the top there, but it only just gets it. But I just hate looking at that. It just looks awful. And I guess really that's my fault for using plywood for doors. I mean, plywood bends quite easily and it just isn't the right material. I should have made it out of some bits of batten, some thinner bits of batten perhaps, and made proper doors. But at the time this was cheaper, easier, and it meant the doors were thinner rather than sticking out even further. So I might have to do something like that in future. I might even actually just take this door off and flip it the other way around so the bowing out bit is also bowing out at the top on the same side. It's not really a fix, is it? It's kind of just a bodge. And likewise, down with this door, these were perfect, but over time it started to warp out at the bottom. They still work fine. Having all my clothes in there, you know, it's great, but over time they've just got worse. They've warped more, and I'm not very happy with this gap. Like, there's nothing wrong with that gap, but realistically I should have made a big U shape when I screwed those pieces in, and I've only got them there to hold this as a drawer. So that was the only reason I did that. Again, can the camera stop shimmering, please? Yeah, so I've only done them to get that drawer in there, but I say it works, it's still solid, but I just feel like that could have been done a little bit better. So I'm pretty sure that's it for the negatives. Some of them just need a bit more time and a bit more effort on maybe finishing stuff. I could have another go at sanding this again and redoing it, but I don't know. I might tackle the doors again at some point because that's what winds me up the most, just how piss poor they look. But in terms of the positives, it's pretty good. This desk is brilliant. I absolutely love it. I just wish it was a bit more interesting. I've since coated it with this sort of laminate stuff because the white paint not working. It just needed cleaning all the time and it just come off, so it wasn't great. I need to get the bloody light sorted. I've been using this light on the last recording setup. It isn't enough. As you can see, with the main lights, it causes camera shimmer. I need to just get some really decent recording lights done. I was going to make my own ones, but I'm going to have to try and get some really good DC drivers. I don't quite know how these work, because they're LED and battery powered, and you can plug them in and they just don't shimmer at all. I guess they just got really good smoothing. But is it in the light, or do they just give you good power supplies? The main camera, the Sony that I use, isn't too bad. That doesn't do it at all. If I use the phone, that's when it gets problematic. So if I want to use it as a secondary camera, yeah, I have to use proper studio lights. As you can tell by the fact it keeps shimmering in this video. So yeah, I want to get a proper light set up here with a decent acrylic, cloudy acrylic layer to diffuse the light, so I'm not getting so many like glares and lines on the cars. That's definitely an issue I'm facing with the videos. And again, that light isn't bright enough. I'm having to turn the main lights on every time I record, and I sometimes forget to do that. So I need to sort that. Nearly 2 years, haven't done it yet. Other positives, I like the drawer. I really like the drawer. It's worked quite well. This is an absolute godsend, especially for my ADHD. If I want to just put clothes away, you can just dump them straight in, slide it back. It's all organised. That is so much better than putting things on hangers. It's brilliant. I say, the doors work fine. The magnet's shut. They're a bit noisy, but apart from the warping, they're pretty good. Again, they really need a good sort out because They're all a mess at the minute. I mean, there's a kettle in one because, you know, but these here are absolutely awesome. I love the little cubby holes I've put in here. As you can tell, they're already pretty full. Likewise, I thought I was gonna have years and years ahead of me worth of die-cast storage, but it's already overflowing. So this has worked out a treat. The lights work great. I kind of wish I'd put a second set of lights on the other side, but you know, it all works great. Nothing's collapsed yet, but they're pretty sturdy shelves, so should be fine. Door works fine. This door, I guess being one piece with a bit of support, hasn't warped too bad, so that's fine. But yeah, as you can see, this has just all become a dumping ground. I really need to get this sorted out. Likewise, I want a paint booth here at some point. It's just an absolute dump. But yeah, more positives. This has worked out a treat. I've got absolutely tons of space. I've got the aircon unit in there. I've got space for a paint booth. Tons of spare space up there whenever I sort through that. I've got all the stuff down here that I need. The coat, the sort of makeshift coat hanger has worked a treat. I'm thinking of putting 2 hooks up in there as well, so that I can hang up jumpers and things that you know, that aren't dirty yet. That camera shimmer. Oh, and also the light down here, that looks pretty damn good now. I've got that on there. That took me forever to get round and finish that. Again, I've done a video on the light under here, getting that working, as well as that light there. I mean, you can see the wire going through there. I've definitely done videos on that, so I'll get around and edit that as a separate piece of video if you're interested in how that works and what I've done there. So yeah, all in all, that bit down there has worked out a treat. It just needs a bit of a clear up, especially all the stuff down there. And I've even put a nice copper socket down here. Look at that. Whoa, to match my handles. That's really cool. Got some decorational stuff going up, like this thing of this belt with pins in it of all sorts of stuff and weird fandoms and what have you. Another thing with this, I do like the cubby holes. It's also a positive. I'm going to turn the light back on and hope it doesn't flicker. They are definitely a positive. They're very good. Maybe I just have to buy something like an organizer to go in there to make them a little bit more organized, less of a dumping ground. This is great. I just need to find some stuff to display. I mean, at the minute it's just for controllers and the screws for this. I need to get on and finish the switch panels. I've got lights I can't even turn on yet, and I've been throwing wires in to replace some of the flexies that I had going in here. There's still a couple that just go to lights, but you know, I just need to get on and finish it. This, again, I love this. Bit flickery, but this seamless like light that's part of the shelf, I just think that is so cool. And of course I can dim it right down. How cool is that? I'm really happy with how that's worked out, how it just is perfectly aligned with the shelf. So I have a reading light when I'm in bed, or snacking light, or whatever I'm doing. Usually snacking more than reading. So there's that. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, this was an absolute palaver. What a bugger this was to get this in here. I used a V-Pro dimmer, which I had to buy a proper V-Pro branded driver unit. It was a nightmare, and in getting it to fit in here I had to cut all this down. Absolute nightmare. Oh, and it's cable tied in as well. Yeah, they really make it hard for you to do that. They want you to buy particular items for a lot of money, and I was not having any of that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a video of that separately. I'm very sure I recorded all of this. I just have to try and find the footage. Again, that's another thing. There's just so much footage of all this. I've actually just been editing the original build that I did almost 2 years ago. And, oh yeah, it's hard to get your mind back into what you were thinking or what you were planning for the video 2 years ago when you forgot it all. But yeah, another thing, this kind of, it looks ugly, but it does work. The aircon works fine coming out there. And I've even screwed on a cover which I can put some ducting on, so I can actually vent the air out to my computer desk if I'm getting a bit hot there. So that all works pretty well. And oh, I love that. I love that all lit up with that orange. And I say, when all the cars are on here, when I finally get around to doing that, that'll look awesome. So yeah, as I say, that colour looks really nice. So next plan, I need to cover those pipes and the wire down there, and I might put some lights in the boxing so the lights shine up the wall. And now I'm thinking, oh, I could maybe try and incorporate some lights in this here, maybe up in the corner, or flush them in the panel somewhere somehow. Like, can't just screw or stick some LED tape on. I've got to flush them in and make them look cool. Now that I've done that one, I kind of want to do that again over here somewhere, so I can have this kind of light in here. And also I'm going to have to put some brighter light up there. Oh, and another thing that's gone really well, I nearly forgot to show you. I didn't actually film any of this, but I've done some slightly bigger cubby holes, much like the other side, behind the door. Obviously at the minute they're just full of stuff, completely unorganised. Very odd shape. I had to cut these all to a very specific shape, but it's designed so if I open the door, it perfectly opens the door and they're all hidden away in the corner. As I say, from here, they don't look like very big shelves, but there's a whole helmet in there. It's about how far they go back in. Again, I've painted it all. I just did the front, like sort of the sides. I didn't do any of the edge pieces this time because I don't think it went that well on the other side, I'll be honest. It looks okay, but it definitely ain't perfect. But yeah, all in all, this is working pretty well. I've got the mic fixed there. The audio's okay for my Hot Wheels setup. I mean, if any of you have come from the Hot Wheels channel, hello, and do let me know what you think of the audio. This is the camera mount I've bought, which is fine, but it just bolts on here. So if I want to open the drawers or the cupboards, I can't. Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but I kind of imagined when I first built this, I was going to mount some kind of rail here, and then I could have the camera mounted on top and then be able to slide it about, but I just never did that. It was just easier just to get a clamp. So, you know, it's not the end of the world. And I've put this, stuck this sheet down. Again, I think I did a video on this, but stuck this sort of vinyl sheet down. This stuff is much better, much more resilient. I just went with a basic grey to try and keep the cars being in focus. I'm trying to I felt like my last display was too distracting. It had too much going on in the backdrop, so the cars weren't popping out as much. But now I feel like this is all just too beige. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you think. Do you miss the posters? Maybe I'll put some posters back up or put some cars in the background. No idea what people like these days, and the views on my Hot Wheels channel have absolutely plummeted in the last year, so I need to do something, but I don't know what that is, so it's a bit difficult. I've also actually got this very botched up bit of shelf up here for old childhood plushes and things that I just can't bear part with because, I don't know, sentimental value or something. But yeah, that's where I am at this point. There's still plenty to do that I haven't got on to doing. I've still got to finish up all the roof and fill all these bits up here. The lights are still hanging up on chains. I've still got to do something with this light that's going through there. Flipping camera flicker. I've got to finish painting. There's areas I just blatantly haven't finished, like this sudden jump from the purple to the old purple. So there's also a lot of wiring videos as well, like the switch panel here, the lights on the other side, and that one there. I've also done one by the desk as well. There's an interesting panel I've had to do to cover up a load of wires, which I've tried to cover with wallpaper, this kind of rusty wallpaper I've got. So that's quite interesting, and it's kind of a learning progress in itself as well. So that'll be a video coming up as well. But yeah, that's where we're at. 2 years on. This is the bedroom layout, and it is all kinds of peculiar and weird, obviously, with all the random walkways and such, but, you know, I think it works. And to be fair, I think it's holding up okay. It's not damaged, it's just warping. The doors, that is the main problem. The doors are just warping. Other than that, bar some paint scuffs here and there, wear and tear. Oh, and the floor that is just covered in paint and bits of tape and stuff, which I really need to clean up. Other than that, I think it's surviving the 2 years pretty well. And lastly, another thing I think we should actually mention is the price of all of this. You could pay thousands upon thousands getting some contractors out to build some custom shelving and that. And I will admit, it will be a really nice job, it'll look good, but it's going to cost you a lot of money. Now, all of the negatives put together, I think they're immediately outweighed by the fact that this cost me so much less money. I will admit, obviously there's a time factor in this. This has taken me well over a year to complete, albeit some of that is because of work and then just me being so ADHD that I would have big breaks. It was months apart from me doing the cupboard and this and that, so there was big gaps in between where I just wasn't doing anything, I will admit. But all in all, the materials cost me maybe 300, 400 quid, somewhere in that mark. I haven't got all the receipts to look it back over it, unfortunately, but you know, all the paint all in was under 80 odd. In fact, the paint was alarmingly expensive, I'll be honest, but there we are. The paint was under 80 quid, and all the materials I bought were, I think, £200 worth. And of course, there's bits like the screws and the filler. I bought some of the LED tape, the LED shields or the casings as well, the trim pieces. So all in all, it's somewhere in the £300, £400 mark. Again, a lot of the stuff that I have used, I will admit, was reclaimed, so this will differ from person to person as to what they can get. All of these boards in here were leftovers from jobs that a builder kindly gave to me. So again, not perfect because they're all in pieces, but actually it made it much easier to build. And again, free. Most of the battens in here, these are all taken out of a... Well, actually, these might be easy to get hold of. It depends if someone's having a building project near you. These are obviously ripped out of a partition wall on the house across from us, and they're all dumped in a skip. So I got them. I just had to do a bit of extra work, de-nailing and de-screwing them. But it wasn't too bad. So saved some money on that as well. Obviously, the handles I bought, but they weren't that expensive. I mean, that socket was a tenner alone, but I bought that after, so I kind of not counting that. But yeah, you know, all in all, somewhere around the £400 mark. Let's just go for the high end of the £400 mark. I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I've got a really good clothing area, an awesome recording desk, which I will say is everything I wanted. It's bigger, it's solid, it doesn't creak, it doesn't move. It's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, what do you think? Obviously, this is my bedroom. It's a very bizarre layout. So obviously, you know, I mean, what do you think? Do you reckon you can get the same sort of stuff built for the same money if you hired someone? You should probably factor in the time I've spent as well. Doing this while working meant a lot of evenings and weekends, you know, but I did take some days off. If I didn't have many jobs on, I'd push them aside to try and get this done. So you've sort of got to take into account the money you lose by not working while you're doing it, or how much effort and strain you're going to put on your body trying to do this in the evenings. It's always worth thinking about that. And obviously, I've saved money in places where I know how to do the wiring, I know how to do lighting. I've got tons of LED strips, and I've usually got bits of cable lying around that I can use up like that, and boxes and stuff. There's a box down in there, and obviously I put the wiring in for that as well, and likewise a socket in there. Obviously I saved money being able to do that myself, the chunking there as well, and doing all the painting myself. I didn't pay anyone to do that. I mean, I will admit, I'm clearly not the best painter in the world, but it's good enough, you know. And there's just something about that fact of knowing that I did that. It's not perfect, but I did that, and it works a treat. Well, there we have it. Thanks for checking out this series, but it's not over yet. So if you are interested, there's many things to come soon. I've got the lighting, the switches. I've been doing some boxing around by my desk as well that links all the switches together, and experimenting with ways to cover the boards up and make them look cool, as well as all the palavers of the switches. In future, there's going to be the putting the LEDs in there. I might do some series on decluttering and stuff, because I've been told that does good on YouTube, so why not? We got the light in here to do. There's all sorts of bits and pieces to crack on with. So if you're interested in all that, oh, and the roof, got to finish all that. Hopefully this amazing filler I've been told about will be the final end of that, so I can finally get that done, because the fillers I've been using so far have not worked. And getting my lights all sorted out off the chains and put up and rewired, reconfigured. Yeah, lots to do, and hopefully once I've done all that, I can finally get on and do my Hot Wheels displays, because it's been nearly 2 years since I took down all my Hot Wheels, and well, I miss them, you know. So cheers for watching. I appreciate all you have watched my random room build for some random guy on the internet. Ain't the internet great? But yeah, hope this was of some use, maybe how to, or probably more so what not to do. But I hope this gives you some inspiration to DIY some things yourself, and or maybe maybe why you shouldn't. But yeah, this is from someone with really, really abysmal woodworking skills, so you never know, you might do it 20 times better than me. But yeah, cheers for watching, and I hope to see you again on this channel in the future.